Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 20 of What Lies Ahead, a conversation that the Bay Club is having with its members and the community at large as we look to open our clubs as part of the Phase 1 reopening in California and Oregon. I am joined today by members and our team members from the North Bay, Marin and San Francisco, and we're going to kick off a conversation about what it's going to look like in the coming weeks as we get ready to welcome members back into our clubs. I also wanted to say thank you today to those members that continue to write to us. David Scott, Karen Gilden, who's written probably 2 or 3 times, and Luann DeRing. Thank you for your notes and your suggestions. You know, it's really valuable to get the input from our members as we go through this process and make sure that it's a collaborative effort. So with that, I'm going to start with our introductions. And first, I'm going to have Steve introduce himself.
Thank you, Annie. My name's Steve Janowski, and I am a Bay Club member up here in Marin. I've been a member since 2004, and through my wife, affiliated with Bay Club since 1994. So we've seen the Bay Club grow for quite a while. We use Bay Club Marin. We use Ross Valley. I play golf at Stone Tree. We have a family membership. I've got a couple of teenage boys that just love the place. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be helpful however I can. Thank you for asking me to join. And I look forward to the clubs being open immensely.
Oh, well, thank you for your time this morning. Next, I'm going to go to Kevin.
Thank you, Annie, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm a relatively new Bay Club member, joined in 2016 when I moved to San Francisco from Charlotte, North Carolina. Bay Club Gateway, I use the tennis facilities, the gym, the swim facilities, and really love the atmosphere at the Bay Club, and very impressed by the commitment that this group and you and Matthew are putting together to get the community back up and going again. So thank you.
For that. Thank you. Dason, I'll go to you next.
Thank you, Annie, and hello, everybody. My name is Dason Parker, Senior Vice President with the Bay Club, overseeing the San Francisco campus with James Lent, who we'll hear from shortly. I've been with the company coming up on 14 years, which is amazing. Started at Bay Club Marin as evening manager on duty and athletic director. And I know Steve was one of the first people I interacted with there as part of the basketball league. So we had some good times out on the court there, but definitely have come up through the business and growing up inside of the Bay Club, multiple positions at Marin, Ross Valley, ultimately overseeing the campus before moving over here to take on the San Francisco region with James. So looking forward to speaking with everybody this evening.
Thanks, Steve. I'll go to James next.
Morning, team. James Lent, Senior Vice President, overseeing the San Francisco campus, along with my partner, Dason. I've been with the company for 15 years. Actually, I believe my 15-year anniversary is this month. I was on LinkedIn somehow this morning and saw that. So, Annie, boss, I'm expecting a social distancing celebratory party for myself. Annie's always introduced as the modern mom. I'm definitely the modern dad, raising two little girls and fully immersed in the Bay Club community, both professionally, obviously vested being with you guys for 15 years, and my girls are avid users in camp, swim lessons, tennis, play club, all that kind of stuff. So Dee and I have been behind the scenes really working hard to get the clubs prepped and cannot wait to welcome you guys back in.
Thanks, James. Next, I'll go to Patrick.
Morning, Patrick Ahern, Senior Vice President overseeing the Marin campus right now with AU. I've been with the company for 3 years, so similar to Kevin, I'm the newer guy on the list as it relates to these guys who are clocking a decade plus with the Bay Club. But I've been in this industry for about 12 years with Equinox, about 10 years prior to coming to the Bay Club. And in the 3 years I've been here, I've been able to oversee the Redwood Shores campus for a period of time, San Francisco and now Marin, which is where I grew up. Living in Novato, I've got, similar to James, I've got 2 kids, a 9-year-old girl and soon to be 8-year-old boy, both of whom have been active in camps and taking swim lessons out at Ross Valley and now playing some golf out at Stone Tree. So it's a lifestyle being part of the company and you know, with these guys working together, very excited to flip the switch and get open again.
That's great. Next, I'll go to Kathleen.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Densmore, San Francisco. been a member at San Francisco Club since 2006. Initially, I joined pretty much because I was forced to because of arthritic pain. After having some excellent trainers in the weight room, swimming, doing cardio, I am now, I guess, close to a gym rat and feel quite healthy, a lot stronger. I really appreciate the ambiance in the Bay Club that we've managed to maintain in terms of safety, respect for each other. And I miss it like crazy and very ready to come back.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. Next, I'm going to go to Kiara.
Hi, my name is Kiara Solari. I've been a Bay Club member for about 2 years. And I originally joined because I used to be a runner. And like Kathleen, I've struggled with knee arthritis, so I had to stop running. And my wonderful daughter, Bella, introduced me to weight training. So I've been working with trainers at the Bay Club, and I had got to a very, very good place with weight training. I was lifting pretty heavy weights. Of course, now I'm not. So I'm so looking forward to going back to the Bay Club. And I do think the way you've presented it is so reassuring to me. It's such an intelligent and thoughtful way to open. And I hope everybody does the same. I have 3 children. They're all grown up. Bella's the youngest. I have a 30-year-old, and Bella's 24 or 23, can't remember. So I don't have any kids at home. So I do feel for all of you people who have kids at home, that must be very hard. So I'm just looking forward to getting out and starting again.
Well, thank you for joining us. Ayub, I'll go to you.
Thanks, Annie. My name is Ayub Pianti. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Marin campus, alongside with Patrick Ahern. Been with the company for 12 years now. I actually started at the front desk. James Lent hired me, and I've been fortunate enough to kind of grow up within Bay Clubs, worked at both the San Francisco campus and the Marin campus. Really looking forward to welcoming our members back into the club.
Okay, boss, I'm going to hand it off to you for what I think is going to be a great conversation this morning.
Great. Thanks, AA. Well, as I was telling the group this morning as we were doing a prep for our session today, we got some really good news late last night from the County of San Diego that they've given a green light to allow our outdoor recreation or golf course and country club, Fairbanks Ranch Country Club, to open up as of May 1st. And they have used our document of resuming operations that we've put together as a really good template for the process that we'll need to go through. And I think this week is a big week for us to start talking to the memberships about the details. We were able to give a sneak peek to this group that came on with us this morning on the documents that we are putting together. And we're going to now step by step walk people through how we think this we can resume operations. They'll be phased. We'll start with our outdoor recreation, which we always expected that to be the case, so people could swim laps, get onto the tennis courts, play some pickleball, get onto the golf courses, as much activity that we can do outdoors in a safe social distance environment. Then we'll work our way towards our big multi-purpose athletic clubs with big, huge space where we can have the proper social distancing, and we'll eventually get all of our properties open as we go by local, state, and federal guidelines. Part of what we've been doing for the last week and a half is really talking with the membership base and seeing what's on everybody's mind as we can think. We've conducted all of our advisory board meetings to get our advisory board members' feedback on what do you want to see from the Bay Club as we get ready to resume operations? How can we make sure we're thinking through what's in your minds, not just what's in our minds? And those sessions have been very helpful, as well as these what lies ahead discussions. This is our second run through with the North Bay group, which is our San Francisco and Marin customers in Northern California. So super appreciative of everybody getting up this morning to chat with us. Kathleen, I'm going to start with you, and get your perspective on, what's on your mind. How are some of the things we can answer for you that you think not only yourself but our Bay Club community would like to know as we start to prepare for resuming operations?
Okay, well, I won't take up all the time I would like to take up, but when I think about opening, I really appreciate the phases, and that we'll start out with stricter protocols than we'll eventually have. I think all that is correct. I am wondering how and who is going to monitor all of us once we come in the door and we start our reservation time. I'm thinking we'll have an allotted time for our reservation. So is that going to be on the honor system or somehow be monitored? I include in that time in the locker room. So maybe I'll start with, and then one other thing, so I don't forget it. I was thinking we should you probably have, anticipate potential areas of congestion. And do you have people planned to stand at these areas? And how is all that going to work?
Great questions. So this one's a softball for you, given how much drilling we're doing right now. So I'm headed your direction.
All right, all good. Thanks, boss. Thank you, Kathleen, for the thoughtful question. So, I think everybody's going to be very much pleased with the efforts and the amount of thoughtful planning that we put into our kind of reopening SOPs or processes, if you will. In terms of reservations, we are asking for people to make reservations to come down to the club, but doing it in a way where it's still a Bay Club experience. So while it's not super restrictive, you will be able to book time slots. You'll be able to book for zones of the club, be it cardio, aquatics, squash, outdoor fitness experiences, things of that nature. There will be a system and a process. You'll be able to book that easily through our Bay Club Connect app. So it's all seamless. It's all lined up right there for you to come down and experience the club. Once you get to the club, I think what you'll see is an organized process for access into the club as well as navigating throughout the club. So, similar to what you're seeing pop up now out in the world, be it grocery stores or other larger retail, with proper social distancing markers and things like that to help you navigate through the club. So coming down to the club would very much look like, Kathleen, you're here. We have you booked for 12 o'clock today and cardio as well as, say, an outdoor group fitness experience. You're going to go to zone 5 for your cardio. You're going to go to zone, 6 for your rooftop experience, and have people stationed within those zones to properly get you to that place that you're looking for. And once you then arrive to that place, we'll have another associate on staff that will be there to greet you, make sure you're set up with everything you need, sanitized fitness equipment, making sure you have your designated area that you're going. And then we'll be able to, host you in a safe, organized fashion.
So, Dee, talk about what's going to be new for the little surprise we have for the Bay Club San Francisco members and the extra hard work that's been done over the last 10 days to free up about 12,000 square feet of outdoor space.
Exactly. And it's not even a little surprise. It's a big 12,000 foot surprise. So we've turned our rooftop here at San Francisco into a 12,000 square foot outdoor turfed area for us to use for fitness, to use for family programming, to use for outdoor experiences, be it, outdoor cycle, outdoor yoga, fitness, strength training kind of pods. So really bringing everything that we are able to do and execute inside, bringing it outside to a beautiful outdoor San Francisco experience. We were able to purchase, a bunch of brand new turf to put down on the ground. So very much excited to unveil this. I think we're going to get a lot of wows from the membership as they come back in.
So James, one of the things I'm going to ask you to help out with is one of Kathleen's questions is, how are you going to do this from a staffing perspective? So given that our things like personal training, some of the more intimate relationships will be more phase 2, phase 3 in the process. Talk about the size of our team and the number of people that you have available to you to execute this game plan.
Yeah, thanks, boss. And again, to echo Dason, Kathleen, great questions, great feedback, and it just shows that you're really thinking in line with the way the Bay Club team is thinking, because all your points is something that we work very strategically and diligently on a daily basis. So, you know, as it pertains to the fitness trainers and our staffing levels, we've been taking care of our team since the day we suspended services, which is definitely unique to our industry, especially when you compare it to different companies. So our team is in line and ready to come back and serve our member base. And with PFT being more of a phase 2 or a latter phase scenario, they're going to come in and they're going to help from a hospitality end as well as all of our staff. I mean, Dason mentioned that we've zoned the interior of our club so we can know how many members and control how many members are going into what zone. It also gives us an opportunity to strategically place our team in hospitality type situations. So each zone will have 1 to 2 associates that will be owning that zone, owning that service level, ensuring that members are adhering to the different guidelines that we have in place. There to assist with any questions, check out sanitized props, ensure that members are respecting their spaces that they've used by sanitizing the equipment after their use. So each zone will, depending on size, will have 1 to 2 professionals that'll be on site providing hospitality. So, you know, PFT will be in there, tennis professionals, front desk, MODs, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a really elevated hospitality experience for our member base, and we cannot wait to open the doors and deliver that to you.
All right, so Kevin, I'm going to stay in San Fran. I know you're a Gateway guy, so what's some of the things on your mind as far as questions that you have for the team?
Well, Kathy asked really one of my biggest questions, and that had to do with the congestion. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are thinking about that and taking that into account. The other question I had is with the new system, reservation system that you have, which again, I think this is a great idea, but being a guy that's been embedded in the tech industry, whenever you roll out a new system, you have all kinds of problems with it. So I'm curious, have you battle tested it, and how? So that's one, and then 2, how seamless will it be for a tennis guy like me who also goes to the gym to move between one reservation system to the other?
Yeah, I think I'm going to handle that one because it's got a little bit of extra twist to it. So if James and Dason, you're okay on that side of the world. You know, we were testing it behind the curtain at a number of our facilities prior to having the services suspended. We had a choice to take everything and put it in so that the one reservation system can handle golf, squash, tennis, and all the other things that we're rolling out. We've chosen to sort of split those for the initial phase 1, phase 2 soft openings, because we don't want it to get too complicated. So the members are already used to how to do tennis reservations. They're already used to how to do golf reservations, already used to squash reservations. And so we're going to leave them in their bucket and now have this new piece of the puzzle. So if you're going to go swim and play tennis, you're going to need to do 2 different reservations. You did before if you were going to squash or tennis, etc., and you'll bounce back and forth. It's pretty seamless. I mean, we've spent millions of dollars on this system, and it's been in development for multiple years, and it was ready to roll out on March 1. We had held it back for about 30 days to fine-tune a few things. So this wasn't thrown together in 20 minutes. This is something we've been working on for multiple years, and we spent millions of dollars on it.
Excellent. Thank you.
You got it. Wow. All right, let's pop up to the world of Marin. So, Kiara, we are amazingly, we love having your daughter Bella on our squad. She is a delight and has been a great addition to our team. And it's a pleasure getting to meet you. So I'd love to know what's on your mind.
So both Kathleen and Kevin have asked pretty much most of the questions I had. I do train, not every time I go on my own, but I also train. And I did wonder how that was going to work, whether we're going to be able to train. Also, I had a question regarding, and this is for the Bay Club Marin. Actually, I do use Ross Valley too, which I love. And you made it sound like Ross Valley was going to expand their equipment to come. My cat wants to join our meeting.
That's good.
Their equipment to go outside. But my question is, first of all, about the trainers and how that would work, whether we would book with the trainer, both wear masks, however that works. And then also what Kathleen brought up, which was, I use the squat rack. I also use the bench, do bench press. I also use the lateral pull down. I move around a lot. So I wondered how that was going to work when you talk about the zoning. You book a zone and how that would work. So anyway, I'll take those questions off. And I just want to tell you guys, you are, all of you, absolutely amazing. I am so impressed by the way you've put this together. When I read the documents, it was such a big relief to me that you're really taking it seriously. And by the way, I love Gavin Newsom. I think he's a great guy. He's taking it seriously. And that's all I'm going to say.
That's great. All right, Ayub, this was down the middle of the fairway for you.
Absolutely, and great points and great questions, Kiara. I'm happy to address those. We'll start off with the personal training. So I think we see that as we see a lot of some of our different programs that we have is we probably have a phased approach to that and how we can get members back in and comfortable doing that, right? So one of the first things that we have coming down is our fitness pods. The team has been really hard at work reorganizing the club, restructuring it. Flow of traffic was very important to us to make sure that we could do this correctly and as you were talking about in reserving out spaces, that everything flows correctly. So when you see these fitness pods that are created, they have a lot of space in them. And there's enough room for two people to not interact closely, but obviously that's 6 feet apart. So feel comfortable that a personal trainer could still give direction. And we've been actually working with the personal training team here at Marin to closely identify those areas and think about it functionally, about how is this going to work functionally for the member experience and the personal trainer, where we can do this in a safe and responsible way. And the second part of your question was just had to do, again, with flow of traffic, right? Is that, you like to move around and use different pieces of equipment. We think that we can do this really well with organizing out different zones, as you mentioned. So all members, as is mentioned before, will have the ability to reserve out different zones of the club, and we spaced out the club in a smart way where, back may be in this area and arms are in this area, and you'll be able to kind of, stay consistent within that zone.
All right, Steph Curry and Ronnie Lott, I've left it up to you there with the big fancy, autograph memorabilia behind you. Go ahead, give us our toughest ones today on what lies ahead.
Nothing too tough here. First of all, very, very exciting that we're getting closer to opening up. So I'd like to reiterate what some of the other folks said about thank you very much for your efforts. I mean, I think Bay Club is a huge part of all of our lives. I know it is for my family, and we've been missing it tremendously, and it's going to be great to be back there. So thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Two quick questions. One is kind of specific to golf, I suppose, given that it's one of the first things, one of the first properties potentially that will be opening back up. Maybe you can give us a little sneak peek about what to expect, what the experience might be like there, specifically up at Stone Tree, since we're in Northern California. And then just out of curiosity, how do you guys, interact or get together, or how do you see yourselves interacting and getting together as you do your soft opening and as you begin to learn things and what's working and not working, and how do you adjust on the fly, and how do you see that kind of evolving over time? I guess those are the two things. The other questions that people already asked about reservation system, about training, about preparation, I think were great questions. And that was the other stuff that was on my mind. So just golf and adjusting on the fly.
All right, Mr. Ahern, write down this was softball for you.
Yeah, Steve, great questions. And I think as it relates to the world of golf, the benefit that we have is across the country, a lot of golf has stayed open and continued to operate in this world. So our eyes have been wide open to how these courses are operating, as well as other businesses, supermarkets and whatnot that have been open. So as it relates to Stone Tree, a lot of the best practices that you'll see there have been laid out through other operations. But as far as the experience to expect, the nice thing is we've got a beautiful and large outdoor space there. Obviously, the course is looking stunning. The setup that we'll be able to have regular tee time schedules, so you can come out at 7 or 8 in the morning. It'll be your regular 4 tees reservation system. And we will have individuals assigned to a cart on their own, unless they live together or they're cohabitating. So you'll have your own cart. We'll have a minimal operation as far as clubhouse and food and beverage access. It'll be limited to grab and go, if anything. But the course itself will play great. There's some extra steps that we'll take to make sure that we're not touching the same pieces of equipment or flags and whatnot. So you'll be able to get your ball out of basically your ball won't go in the cup. It'll be a different type of system, so that you're not reaching down and touching a flagpole, grabbing the same rakes to fix the sand and that kind of thing. So we just minimize some of those touch points. But other than that, it's going to be a golf as usual type of experience. The one thing that we'll be creative with, as we are with the other spaces, is how do we take advantage of that flat space primarily on the right hand side there when you drive in. So in the latter part of the day, we'll repurpose some of that, retain golf holes 7 through 9 and 13 through 17 for golf play throughout the day, but use the other holes to open up for members to come out and go for a bike ride or a run, or have the family be able to get out and enjoy some sunshine and that kind of thing. Have some programming on that side. So it's ready to go. So once we get the green light from local authorities, we'll get you on the tee sheet, get out there and see it firsthand. And I think to the other question you asked, as far as how do we adjust as we go, that's kind of how this team works. And we're in dialogue on pretty much a daily basis, Matthew and the other guys on this call, and we're always observing what's working, what's not, what we're seeing when we're outside of Bay Club, and what's going on and the other experiences we're having, and sharing those best practices and tweaking as we go. So it'll be a phased approach, like we said, and I think that evolution will be taking place on really a daily and weekly basis as this thing evolves.
Thank you. That's a great answer.
Well, turn it back to AA so we can do the last part of what lies ahead. But I want to say thank you to you guys, and thank you to the Bay Club community for everybody's patience. This has been an unusual situation that we all got thrown a curveball with. And, our focus has been, how do we do a good job communicating with the members and make sure they understand where we're headed and what we're up to? Second was, we wanted to make sure we took care of our team. So we've kept the lion's share of our employees together. I think the only employees that didn't stay with us were those that had a shift of less than 10 hours a week. And when we say we kept our team together, we paid our trainers their rates as if they were training with you as a client, versus paying them an administrative rate, an hourly rate as part of it, because this was one of those that could really cause a lot of chaos for our team. And we made an effort to put the team together and say, this is where we need to step up and do the right thing. And so our tennis pros, our aquatics instructors, our spa staff, all of those have been paid as if our customers were paying for the services. And that was just one of the things we needed to do. We're super appreciative of the feedback that we've gotten from the customer base. And we've been very, very focused on earning your respect and your trust that you will come back to us when we can turn the lights on. And we're really excited to prove the difference between, the way that we operate and how we do things and other things that may be out there in the world, and prove to you that you've made a great choice to be part of our Bay Club community. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to AA, and we'll roll to the finish line.
Thanks, boss. I appreciate that. Great conversation today. I think, it's really what I'm noticing and appreciating is the evolution, right? The questions are getting more detailed. The plan's really coming together. So it's fun to be a part of. Today, what I'm thankful for is signs of hope. I think week 6 was a tough week for shelter in place. Everybody kind of is hitting a wall, and to see San Diego start to really open up and know that we have a path to just being able to resume some of the activities that we all really enjoy. I'm just so grateful for that this weekend, and that's kind of what I'm looking for as we enter into our week 7. And my little business shout out is a wine shop in Walnut Creek called Venus Reverie. And I had no idea that they existed before. And I was paying attention to social media, and somebody mentioned them in a group that I joined. And as any parent, a glass of wine at the end of the day has been a bit of a saving grace these last 6 weeks. And so I put an order in for some wines that I hadn't even really heard of, and they hand delivered it within about 2 hours. So I just want to give them a shout out. Everybody's working really hard these days and really trying creative ways to stay afloat. And I appreciate all those efforts so much. So that's my episode 20 thankful and my little business shout out. Steve, why don't I go to you?
So, I mean, there's kind of obvious stuff. I'm very grateful that that we are getting through this, and that we are healthy, and that I've been able to continue to work. And, I feel very fortunate, and I know there are a lot of people that have been struggling more than I in this country. And so, just the fact that I've been able to continue to do what I do, and, and my family's healthy is all good. I'm also grateful that, in some respects, there is a silver lining to this. Yesterday was supposed to be prom. I have a senior at Redwood, and it wasn't prom, but we did a small dinner for my son and his girlfriend here. And my wife and I were a part of that, actually. And so we've had an opportunity to spend more time with our kids and do a lot of stuff with our kids that we very well might not have been able to do. And I think they've appreciated it, and I know I've appreciated it. So in a weird sort of way, this has actually brought us a little bit closer together. Not just because we can't go anywhere, but because we're actually enjoying each other's company. And so I am grateful for that. And I think, it's good to try to find the silver lining where you can. I was over at World Wraps right over in your neck of the woods, or Bay Club Marin, and yesterday, and I'd like to give them a little bit of a shout out because they were hustling, and they had 100 to-go orders lined up, and people were in there, and they were sweating, and they were running around, and they were getting it done. And just to see, how seriously these guys were taking their role in this and continuing to help feed people around that wanted to get out of the house, that was really good. And I was very impressed with them. So World Wraps at the Town Center.
I'm a big fan of World Wraps. That's a great shout out. Haven't been in a while. Looking forward to going back. Kevin, why don't I go to you next?
Sure. Well, I echo yours and Steve's sentiment around, I have 3 adult children, and this is in some sense, even though we're not together, brought us closer together because they're always checking on their elderly, infirmed parents to make sure that we're okay in this trying time. So even though we're not getting together through social media, we're actually drawn closer. And I hope that that's the case for other people as well, as it seems to be for you and Steve. Business shout out. So there's a little Italian restaurant, real Italian restaurant. The owner and his mother are from Italy, big, thick accents. Some of the best Italian food, probably in the city, but certainly in Russian Hill. It's called Amarena. And we've been going there probably too often, but at least once a week since we landed in San Francisco. And every time they see us when we pick up food, the greetings are sincere and meaningful. They're really happy to be in business, and you can see that they do the best that they can to stay afloat in this really challenging time. So Amarena, if you're ever in Russian Hill. Great little Italian restaurant.
Boss, you're going to have to check that one out. That sounds like a great recommendation. Dee, I'm going to go to you next.
All right, thank you, everybody. I'm just grateful for community. I was thinking about this, right? And just I have my little family community, which is fantastic, and I lean on them, and our Bay Club communities and all the little pockets that we have. And then just, it's really, even the cities and towns that we live in, it's really great to see locally and then more globally how people are starting to come together. I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. To echo the silver lining comment, we definitely, over the last few weeks with my family and kids, been trying to find the silver linings in terms of things that we're doing around the house and just taking advantage of the extra time that we have. So just very grateful for community and all that brings. Steve, you stole my shout out at World Wraps because my kids finally beat me down. They were tired of the home cooked meals, and we went to World Wraps last night and they were hustling. So I will give another shout out to World Wraps, and they won over my choice, which was Pig in a Pickle, which is right next door. So we'll give Damon a shout out as well, which is right across the way there at the town center. So please go and patronize both of those shops there. They do a great job.
That's awesome. Kathleen, I'll go to you next.
Okay, I am grateful that so many of us have been able to maintain our health. And, the Bay Club is one main factor, one main institution that helps us maintain our health. So I am also tremendously grateful for the teams that all of you are on, that are working so hard to, put out a new Bay Club that we can all be proud of. And so I'm appreciative to you. And as for a shout out, I don't have a specific business. Well, I guess I do. I do want to do a general shout out for small businesses because they're struggling. So the more we can support them, the better. And one on my street that I love is Grafeo Coffee. You can buy it in beans if you grind your own or already ground. And it's the best coffee you'll ever have. So a shout out to Grafeo on Columbus in North Beach.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And thank you for your kind words. That means a lot to us. Patrick, I'll go to you next.
Sure. I think the main ones have been said. The one I'll just reiterate is grateful for the optimism. There's plenty of opportunities to get too caught up in these negative news cycles and doomsday scenarios and whatnot. And it's there's a lot to celebrate, and there's a lot of good that can come out of all this. And so I'm appreciative of being able to speak with people like the ones on this conversation right now, as well as neighbors and family and whatnot, and dig into the positivity that's out there. And seeing this very bright light at the end of the tunnel as far as being able to welcome some members back onto our properties over the course of the coming week is cause for plenty of optimism. So as far as a business shout, I agree with the small businesses, and in that spirit, one I'll restate is our friend and partner with Comptoir in San Rafael with Stefan, who operates the food truck out at Stone Tree for us. He's still, he's running his business, small restaurant, great French food, and he's got a little retail shop there too. So to Annie's point, if you're looking for a glass of good wine or champagne or whatnot, he's a sommelier as well. So you can stop by and pick up wines, cheeses, and all that kind of thing and support that cause.
Good stuff. Good stuff. James Lent, I'm going to go to you.
Hi, guys. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm not going to belabor the point because on the last one, I thank the Bay Club company because everything that they've done for us here as a collective and for our families and stuff like that. But definitely thankful, like Steve had said, for the additional time that we get with our families and the quality time I've been able to spend with my girls. I mean, you just can't get that back, and it's just so precious. And I'm just thankful for that and taking advantage of it for sure. In terms of small business shout out, I mean, there's definitely a common theme here. Everyone's shouting out small businesses, and I think that's because small businesses feel more immersed in the community and definitely give you more of a personalized touch. And I think the Bay Club is definitely falls into that category, because we're able to give that personalized touch, and we're able to create communities and develop communities and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm happy to be part of that type of organization that falls in line with this theme that we're talking about. But I would say the one small business that I'm super thankful for is Noriega Produce in my neighborhood, out by the beach. It's run by a couple of local surfers that staff it, and really good organic fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, and some meats and stuff. And they have you lined up in queue, and they give you complimentary fresh squeezed juice, complimentary gloves, and masks to get you in there. So you definitely get that personalized touch from them, and it's a really cool community spot. So, that's what I got for you.
Nice shout out. I love it. Kiara, I'll go to you.
Okay, so I'm listening to all your shout outs and thankful for, and it's made me think of too many things, so sorry. But I don't have really a small business to shout out to, but I am thankful for my whole family. My husband, who's built me a new kitchen and cooks amazingly. In fact, I think I might do a quarantine cookbook after this. He cooks everything from pizza to curry to anything you can imagine. I want to shout out to my 3 beautiful daughters. My eldest is a NICU nurse. She actually, we believe she did get the virus at the beginning. She tested negative, but the doctor thought it might be actually a positive test indeed. Has got better, has been out working really hard with awful masks. My middle child, who's supposed to graduate from UC Davis as a vet in May, and now is going to have to do it virtual, as a virtual graduation, and has actually been selected to sing the national anthem. So shout out and thankful for her. And of course, my lovely, wonderful Isabella, who I just love her so much. And she's given me all of you guys and the Bay Club. So I'm very thankful to that. And I'm thankful, here's my cat. And I'm thankful to my cat who adores me. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Ayub, I'll go to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stay in line with the healthcare theme, right? All the frontline workers. We're so thankful for everyone, from the grocery store clerks to the nurses. I have 3 nurses in my family, and they're in the East Bay right now. And it's been really on the note of optimism and positivity. It's been really good to hear that they're getting back to normal. They're all in the Walnut Creek and Concord area, and they're letting us know that things are really getting down where they need to be, and they've been really appreciative of all the support that they've been getting. So that's been really cool. And then my shout out goes to our friends next door at El Fornayo. They've been closed this whole time, and they've been working hard to keep their team together. And I'm excited to announce that I just got the approval to let us know that they're going to be opening back up on the 7th. So that's fantastic.
That's great news. That's great news. Boss, I'll hand it to you before we wrap.
Yeah, a lot of cool things. This is our neighborhood. So, Annie and I do this, and it starts in San Diego and Los Angeles, and then has the East Bay in Oregon and the San Jose. This is my backyard. So I live in the Presidio. Kevin, I've been to your Italian restaurant many times. I started at Green in between Larkin and Hyde. So I spent plenty of nights there with really good Italian food. And as we talk about Stefan at Le Comptere and the crew in the Hislop family, Jamie works for us. The whole family has grown up with us. They're involved in El Fornayo and World Rap. So it's just a fun conversation to chat about. My shout out is going to continue to go to the Bay Club community. We're so appreciative of the communication and the dialogue that we've had with our membership base. A situation like this makes us appreciate our community even more. We think everybody's going to be pretty impressed. We've been operating this business since 1977. It's a rare situation. We're open 364 days a year from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So this is the first time in 40 years we've been able to literally clean it from head to toe. It has been scrubbed. Every inch of these clubs have been scrubbed to the nth degree. So it will act and feel like a brand new facility when everybody comes back. And if there's a silver lining, that's our silver lining, that, we've replaced carpet, we've retiled steam rooms, we've grouted shower areas, we've built brand new 12,000 square foot turf fields on top of Bay Club San Francisco. We've aerated all the fairways, roughs and greens at Stone Tree. We've kept the team together, and because of that, we've been able to do some of the base functional works on the properties. So we're excited to welcome people back in a safe, healthy environment as part of it. I'm going to keep with the local shout out. I'm going to go up to Marin. I have an English bulldog. Most of the crew knows that. His favorite place in the world is Stinson Beach. So he actually thinks he's a surfing dog and can run headfirst into the waves at Stinson. And afterwards, we go to Whiskey Skillet in Strawberry Farms. And he has a really good appetite for the French toast at Whiskey Skillet. So I'm going to give a shout out to my English bulldog, PJ, in the world of Marin. So, hey, that's back to you.
That's a good one. I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us for episode 20. Thank you to all of the members that have joined us over the course of the last few weeks as we have filmed the episodes of What Lies Ahead and collected feedback and engaged in dialogue as we get ready to open. I'm excited to share that episode 21 will be a new format, and we get to talk in detail about our plans and share with the membership how we plan to make sure that our clubs are safe spaces for us to welcome you back. So with that, thank you to this group of members who joined us this morning. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.